Pisces gang? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. That is me. We're going to read your tarot cards this week. Highly encourage you to come into this tarot reading with an open heart, an open mind, and take away only the messages that resonate with you, the ones that motivate, empower, inspire. That's what I want to do here today. If you're not feeling that way, it might not be your message, or it may not have, the message may not have come to you at a time where it is resonating and making sense, so feel free to check back at another date. This is going to be geared ever so slightly more towards my Pisces rising. So if you're Pisces Sun, Moon, Venus, of course, anyone and everyone is welcome to join this reading. But I do encourage you to watch your rising sign as well. In fact, I can see I didn't switch my board over here. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me rotate my zodiac wheel. Put you at Pisces rising. All right, Pisces rising, Pisces in the first house. All right, cool, let's do it. Sorry about that, guys. Just coming off of Cancer's reading. Drama. I'm just kidding. All right, one more shuffle and here we go for Pisces. Let's connect with Pisces energy. As always, guys, you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. Okay, here we go. Split the deck for Pisces. Ooh, Two of Cups in the first house. Ooh, possibly even marriage. Wow, what? Oh my gosh, your bottom half looks insanely good. Dead ass, Pisces. Just kidding. Your bottom half looks really good. That's what your partner's going to be saying this week. That's hilarious. Okay. Bottom of your deck is Judgment. Okay, so tying up loose ends. Judgment frequently has to concerns itself with going back to the past and making amends. Again, tying up loose ends, going back to complete something, to bring something to completion or culmination. We did just have a full moon in Capricorn last week. For you, that was in your 11th house of friendships as well as long-term plans. So something could have wrapped up in a positive way, or you could have closed out a chapter that was a little bit heavier, right? Sometimes the moon can bring it with a more shadowed like energy. But with that, whatever wrapped up for you, there was peace of mind involved. It's like you can finally have some peace about something because you know the full picture now, or you know the whole story now. If that doesn't make sense yet, it might make sense later for you. Yeah, interesting. So under this is the star. Your hopes and dreams and wishes. They're not all that far off. I'm wanting to say you're closer than you think you are. So let's just hop right in. You have really spectacular cards. I'm really excited about this. Let's start off with the Two of Cups. So this week you may put a particular focus on dating or connecting with someone that you consider like a really good friend or a soulmate. And that doesn't have to be romantic, right? Your best friend is your soulmate, right? I do like that this is coming in your first house. It's making a positive aspect to the Four of Wands. So sometimes this is a marriage card. Not only that, the Four of Wands is happening in your house of dating. So I don't use this term too much. I think it's grossly overused in tarot and creates false expectation. But I do want to use the word soulmate here. So I'm going to put it out there. This could be like a soulmate connection. Obviously, use your best judgment. Listen to your heart. Follow your intuition. Make sure you are connecting with someone who shares similar values, right? But I also think it's really important in the soulmate, if we want to call it that, to understand that it is a relationship that is meant to challenge you too. Challenge you for the sake of growth, to develop as a spiritual being in this lifetime. Because I say this, it's not great to meet someone who's identical to you, who's exactly like you. That's going to challenge you in a whole other set of ways, but there should be a little bit of tension for both of you that, again, it's healthy connection, it's healthy tension that does allow you to see things from a different perspective, right? There's a nice little bounce back and forth. Anyway, Two of Cups to the Four of Wands. I feel like I gave you just like this really heavy lecture and your cards are beautiful. So please don't take that personally, right? I'm a big believer in self-empowerment in these readings, right? And then you have the Magician showing up too. So sometimes the Magician has to do with manifestation of new beginnings, having all the tools on your table. This feels like it's something that's being orchestrated sort of by the divine. Almost like this is a bit cheesy, but it's like the gods conducting this. There's like dramatic music here. Music might play a very significant part in this meeting, or one of you may work in as a musician, or music is very important in this connection. Also, it is related to planet Mercury, so there's a very strong there's a very strong communicative bond. You guys speak the same love language. In fact, there may be a foreign language involved in this relationship. If this is someone you met who comes from a different country or a different background, they may be multilingual. That's very interesting that Mercury's shown up in your ninth house, which does have to do with different cultures. Magician is also, because it is connected to planet Mercury, there's also some Gemini Virgo energy we sometimes associate with the Magician. And in terms of these three cards, those are the only major arcana I really have showing up. So very likely there could be a connection here with a Gemini or a Virgo. Let's look a little bit closer at your relationships. Wow, you even have the Lovers. Guys, this looks so sexy and awesome. Like, even this depiction of the Lovers, I truly like. Sometimes the Lovers can just indicate really difficult choices or feeling split in two different directions. You know, any tarot card has a multitude of meanings, but this Lovers card specifically, it looks very fairy tale-esque to me. It looks like, you know, falling in love. It seems like there has been some sort of constant struggle in your life, and it may have been releasing an ex or releasing any sort of trauma from your childhood or any experience in your life that you've carried it with you for a tremendous amount of time. It seems like, my Pisces gang out there, if this is your message, you've been healing this part of you for years, and something has finally started to come in where you feel like you've gained a lot of ground. You've made a lot of headway in your own healing and personal journey, and that's why this journey is starting to intertwine or collide with a new romantic prospect. I do think this is romantic. We'll talk about money in a bit, but in terms of your relationship houses, yeah, gosh, the messages are so consistent, and I love it when that happens. It makes it easier for me as a reader. It seems like you've been doing a lot of work on yourself. It seems like you've been doing a lot of shadow work. You've been doing a lot of work and introspection about the relationships in your life and how they have informed you in your romantic life, your career life. There's a higher perspective on what you seek and value in any type of partnership. And that knowledge, it's like, I'm almost getting the idea of like a jetpack or a rocket. It's like fast track you to understand who or what it is that you need in this life to succeed. Yes, in a partnership, but almost on a personal level too. You have a much clearer sense of what you need to feel safe and secure. And again, with that, there's always balance of, there will be things that challenge you, but you have a much better understanding on how to deal with those situations rather than whatever it is, falling victim to it and taking on too much responsibility, or the opposite, you know, not wanting to deal with anything and run from it, right? However that storyline may have impacted you growing up or in the last several years, especially healing with a significant partnership in your life that really was karmic. The idea that it held a mirror up to you for you to reflect back on your own your own qualities, your own what's a good word for it? Your own being, your own soul, your own essence, and what you bring to relationships. I have a feeling you went through a very difficult relationship at some point in your life, maybe multiple times, and it's like you've reached a point where you are very knowledgeable, you are very self-aware. It hasn't been an easy road for you, but there's beautiful blessings ahead, and I think you're already starting to experience, especially some romantic ones in the coming weeks. The Lovers is sometimes indicative of Gemini, so 2 cards showing up of Gemini in terms of dating prospects. If you are single and looking, there may be a wedding coming up in a friends group where you connect with an Aries or possibly even an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And again, it's a relationship. There's just a natural connection. There's a natural flow. It's very mentally stimulating, but not in a way that brings you anxiety or depression. It's not a relationship where you're constantly questioning and second guessing yourself, because you're so beyond that. That was certainly, I think, a part of your guys' journey. And if you're still there, again, there's no judgment here. But this reading this week says to me that it's been a hell of a road to travel, but you've done it, and you're seeing the reward of all the effort and time and attention and love that you poured into yourself, Pisces. Yeah, you also have the Hierophant, so Taurus energy possibly. There could be a new job contract. It is showing up in your house of money. But it is the priest, it is the Pope, right? So you do have a lot of marriage cards. You have the Lovers, you have Two of Cups, you have the Hierophant, you have the Four of Wands, you have the Eight of Pentacles, which is like building into the future. It's not all that far from the Ten of Pentacles. So this could be someone that you are already connected with. It could be someone that you've been dating for a while. If that's the case, I would say you guys are about to reach a milestone in your relationship. I feel like some of you had a tremendous amount of work to do with a Scorpio or on some connection with a Scorpio, whether that was your father or, I don't know, a Scorpio had a very profound and impactful influence on your relationship. So I'm not here to say whether it was good or bad. I think you already know. But if you're questioning if you're there yet, I would ask you about the Scorpio for some of you. Does that make sense? There was a profound, and if it's not a Scorpio, it's reiterating there was a very impactful, transformative connection you made in your life that definitely shed a lot of light and wisdom on areas where you needed to love yourself more, that needed time and attention for you to be healthy and seeking out healthier romantic connections. There could be a strong connection in your money and, clients or sales or business this week with a Taurus. Teaching jobs are looking very lucrative this week. Some of you may be going back to school, especially to start something brand new. Some of you may be going back to school to get, even if it's not, like 4-year type college stuff, you may be taking an extra course or a class, learning some new skill or talent or, again, knowledge, information. That seems like it's very intriguing to you at this time. It might just be the final determinant is if you want to spend the money, but I think a lot of you will move forward with it. Yeah, something about sales, traveling, like almost like a traveling salesman. I'm not sure what that has to do with this, but maybe that's what some of you do for a living. You have some sort of higher perspective this week about your long-term job. Yeah, actually, there is a lot of cards of travel. So you may be incorporating more travel into your daily life just in the coming weeks. You may be more interested in jobs that allow you more freedom in your commute or in your daily schedule. It seems like something about your daily schedule was a little bit oppressive or felt very suffocating. So I think you're restructuring and reordering to allow or to grant you more freedom, to not have it be so strict by its timeline or by the book. You may have a new advantage of being able to make your own schedule, have more say in your routine. And again, something about this, I don't know if it's you're negotiating for more vacation time, but there's a lot of big travel cards here. You may be taking extra time off to go travel to attend a wedding or something like that. You have very strong cards. You have the Chariot, which is a card of victory, and warrior strength, pedal to the metal, very determined, a very strong masculine energy, even if you are female. Again, showing up in your 10th house. So you may work in the travel industry for all I know, but that's a very strong card. And not only that, you have 2 major arcana showing up in your money houses, things to do with your career and your money, the Hierophant as well. So Cancer and Taurus are associated with the Chariot and the Hierophant individually. And then the Seven of Wands, which I actually love this because you actually get to stand behind the man in this card and see that he does have the higher ground. You may have gotten so lost in the mundane reality of, the everyday ho-hum thing, you forgot to stop and appreciate the view because you're at the top. There's something this week where you're at the top. You may have reached some sort of goal you set for yourself. You may have been one of the highest contributors on your team this week. You may just have a lot of extra attention coming to you or an increase in sales. So it's going to keep you busy, but I want to say you've reached a milestone or there's a high. Highs and lows, strikes and gutters, peaks and valleys. You've ascended the mountain this week. There's something, it gives you the chance to dream bigger. There is an established sense of clarity or even just pride in your capabilities, But with that, it also opens the door for you to dream more, for you to understand that maybe this is just the beginning. Something maybe you never thought achievable or possible. There's like a switch in your brain where like, wow, well, if I can do this, then maybe I can do that too. And you're right, you absolutely can. I sense that you have a really loving partner around you. It could be a best friend, but for a lot of you, it feels like, again, more romantic. Whoever it is could be a family member, your best friend, for all I know. There's someone who really, really is your cheerleader. It's like they're your athletic coach when you're on the field. When you start to lose faith in yourself, they come in and remind you of all the great things that you've already achieved. And I love the energy here. You have people around you this week that really love and support you. And if you are in a relationship or going to be in one, I'm just being told to say you get what you give. So if you want this relationship to grow and thrive and have some longevity to it, you have to make sure that you are dedicating time to that relationship and to that person. It's not about overcommitting yourself, balance in all areas of life, but you seem to be having a kick-ass week career-wise or financially or something that, again, it's just you've reached a milestone. Like work is keeping you busy, but I think there's a turning point where you start to enjoy it more, or you see light at the end of the tunnel if you've been having to put in a lot of man hours or whatever. Just make sure you're balancing that with your personal life as well as time that you're investing in your romantic partnerships, because I'm telling you that the romantic side of things looks amazing this week. So I guess don't neglect your person, especially if you've been in a long-term marriage or something. Make sure you take time to appreciate the people who love and support you. Again, you get what you give. More reason to not neglect it or take it for granted, because you do seem to be blessed with a really nice partnership in the coming week or so. If that person isn't already in your life. Some of you may actually be renewing your vows if you are married, Pisces. You could be connecting with someone new, and there's like this, gosh, do I want to use these big words? I for those who are new, I am not a hype man with my readings at all. This is more about you and self-empowerment, but there is a romantic connection here that feels very, kind of love at first sight. Like it just feels like there's something profound. There's a soul connection here. It feels very like it was written in the stars. It feels like destiny. And with that, there's a sense of ease. Nervous butterflies, I suppose, are normal on a lot of first dates or whatever, but there's just something Four of Swords, it's like it brings you inner peace. There's an ease about this connection, and like Pisces, it just feels so good. I'm so happy for you. It's like you're at the culminating point of a chapter in your life where you're so much more willing to release what hasn't served you and not hold on to it out of fear or guilt or shame or this is my story, so it's always going to be my story. Like you are more willing now than ever to rewrite the narrative, and that optimism, that very kind of Jupiterian energy, right? Because Jupiter is one of your rulers. It's like things start to open up for you and change in ways. A good metaphor for this, it's like all this time you spent nurturing the flower and watering it and giving it sunlight, talking to it. It's like you just start to see the inside of the petals bloom, and it's just like, wow, is this real? Like there is this, oh my gosh, is this really happening? And the thing is, it seems to be happening in multiple areas of your life. This is so great. This is so great. I don't know why I took my bracelet off. I wonder why that is. Why did I put my bracelet on the Eight of Pentacles? What do you guys think? Eight of Pentacles is becoming the master of your craft. Yeah, again, the time and effort you've put into something, it's paying off. It's happening right in front of you. It's happening right now. I also think, too, that is always a great message of look around you right now. Look at all the wonderful blessings in your life. Wherever you're watching this tarot reading, right? Literally look at the space around you and understand how far you've come from 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Not just about your material possessions, though I do think that's part of it. There's a need to ground yourself and appreciate what you have, quite simply. The name Matt, or Matthew. I'm not sure who that is, but they're showing up in your reading this week, and they're surrounded by very positive cards. Yeah, there's a victory and a triumph with someone named Matt. I don't know if that's your boss or your kid or your husband, or I don't know. Or maybe you don't know who that is yet. Maybe that's someone who's coming in, but that's so funny. Something about the ears, again, something with music, but I actually literally was seeing a, almost like a hearing aid. I don't know why that's significant, but again, that will probably mean something to someone out there. Hearing aid. Listen closer. That may even be a message to you that you have spirit guides and sort of divine wisdom around you for when you need it, when you desire that, when you want it, bust out your tarot cards or, however you connect with a higher power. They're wanting to feed you the information. Again, something about the ear. Listen. There's auditory sounds, or there's something very important about I don't know, the earlobe, hearing. Some of you may have just gotten your ears pierced or something like that. I don't know why that's coming through. Anyway, and there's some sort of victory or success in your household. It could be something with your family. Someone may have just gotten over a really tricky illness. There could be good news about property or your land or your income. There's some very positive news arriving to you. And you may be able to finally release something. This has to do with some sort of matters of the home. You may have more money coming in so that you can get rid of something or buy something nicer or upgrade something in your home. You may be moving. Some of you may be leaving behind an older residence. And there's a new offer that comes about. There's very good news. You have a lot of cards of victory regarding the house. Some of you may have recently signed on to take a job that has more travel opportunity. Or to take this job, you may have to move locations. Something about that, again, your tarot reading is so cool. Something about that, it's like the divine timing where you get the job and you also get a really nice location to reside, or a nice apartment or a nice house that allows you to take that job. The universe is working for you this week, Pisces, so awesome. Appreciate it. That's what I got for you this week, guys. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next week for more tarot. Bye, Pisces.